welcome to the show, guys. I am Sandy Blooms, and you're watching the New Republican Party. Yes, a lot of people say, the New Republican Party? Well, what do you mean? Am I not a part of the New Republican Party? And today we have a lot lined up for you guys. A special treat here with me today, Heidi Hulsey. I'm so fortunate to get this interview, guys. I've looked forward to this for a very long time. Heidi, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am doing just fine, and it's great to speak with you and see you today.
Always love your energy.
Absolutely.
Love being with you.
Now, Heidi Hulsey is running for District 4. Board of Education out in Douglas County, Georgia, and she has so much that she's up against right now, guys. We just want to definitely wrap our arms around her, give her a big hug and some support. So Heidi, how has this journey been for you?
Oh, it's been a ride, that's for sure. I love the learning. I love learning about the community, and getting into the political world has been enlightening, to say the least, and I'm looking forward to this. You know, it's time for America First patriots to step up to the plate and do their due diligence and do their homework and do the work to fight for what is right.
Absolutely. Now, what made you want to run for office?
Well, I've raised 2 children in this county, and I've been in this county for 28 years, and I have done countless, we're here at the hair salon, I've done countless parents, school teachers, children, 28 years, and I've seen a lot of things that need to be addressed, need to be fixed in the school systems. And as we've all seen in the last couple years, it is just, evil has shown its ugly head.
No, absolutely.
Evil is rearing its ugly head, and I refuse to stand by and do nothing. So that is why I'm running. I'm not going to allow that to happen on my watch.
Well, we respect that, and we love you, and we want to give her a hand, guys, because it's not an easy road going down this road. Now, you mentioned that you have children that you raised, and you raised them in the school system here in Douglas County. Now, what were the things that you experienced, some of the things maybe that you didn't like and that you saw then that may have needed to be changed?
Well, I just seen where I actually enjoyed, raising my kids in this county. This county today and what it was 28 years ago when I moved here is not the same. I've never had too many problems. I've just watched everything go downhill as far as, just the 1% ruling what we, parents, what we want or don't want. I don't understand how one person can create the narrative for 99%. And I've seen a lot of that when I raised my children. I've seen a lot of the push through, I see a lot of parents get really frustrated, with testing and the scores and the, which all comes back to the, federal funding. And it really hurts the children, because I think education has become where it's not about the children and what they're learning, but more about the funding and the scores and that kind of thing. And I just think that needs to stop.
Right, and I'm sure that a lot of the moms can sympathize and agree with you. I was just speaking with a woman up at a gas station maybe a few days ago, and she said that she was called up to the school over some of the issues that were going on. Her child had to go home, and it becomes a thing of the teachers have to deal with behavioral issues.
Yes.
And actually teaching. Now, when we get down to teaching, and you mentioned yourself that there are some things that you don't agree with that are being taught to the children.
Right.
And I know one of the things that is your main statement is to get politics out of schools.
Yes.
Now, what are some of those other things that you don't want to see being taught to young children?
Well, and especially nowadays, everybody wants to bring up, the race, and I just don't think that race is an issue. My children were, we were all raised the same, and I love being in such a very diverse county, and it's not about 2 races. There's tons of races, and I think that's very fun, but I don't know why they have to keep indoctrination and keep that racism going. I think that is a problem. I just learned that a county in the school, a school in this county, they are already teaching pronouns to elementary school students, and that is just a no. I refuse to do that. I refuse to allow that kind of indoctrination and grooming to go on in the schools. I'm sure I could go on. I can't think of anything
Right,
right
no,
now at
and
the
that and it
moment.
makes sense
Yeah.
because when you think about young children and you think about the young impressionable minds and you think about what you're teaching them, you know, they're young. They have not experienced life before. So in order for them to know certain things, they have to be exposed to it.
Right.
So when you expose certain things to them, of course they start to feel certain sensations and then they want to experience. But you know, maybe call me old school, but I thought that, you know, sex between two people or things or intercourse between two people has to do with reproduction.
Right.
And if you're not trying to reproduce or getting ready to reproduce with a person, then what are you doing it for? And we're teaching our younger generation this at a young age so that way we can produce more unstable or instability in our society. And I'm against that. And if you're not someone who can sympathize on a more conservative retrospect, then you can at least appreciate not teaching children and giving them the ideas. Now, another thing you said was teach children how to think and not what to think. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's, you know, all children don't belong in a box. And there's a lot of, you know, children that can actually teach us things by the way they think. And there's not a right answer to, or one answer to a lot of problems. You know, the children are actually, there are creative minds and are creative people because us adults really have turned everything into not so much fun. So I just believe that, you know, children need to be able to express their own emotions as far as, you know, with what could be a right answer or a wrong answer. You know, I don't think that this is the way you do it, and that's the only way it can be done, and that's the end of story, move on next. You know, there's a lot to that, you know. A lot of them have lost critical thinking skills because they're all combined to a box.
Yeah, that's understandable. Now, have you met the board of educators right now that are on the board of education? Have you met them?
As in personally and come up and said, hey, I'm Heidi Hulsey? No, I have not. Now, one, you know, I do know Glenn. I know Glenn Easterwood. The other ones, I've just seen them at meetings and stuff. So, no, I've not talked to them personally.
Do you gain any support when you go to the meetings from the mothers, the fathers, the parents, and children?
Yes, there's a lot of people in the community that are very thankful that I'm running and doing this for the community.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They
Now,
need a voice.
Yeah, they do. They do. I
They
think
need a voice.
Yes, we all in certain areas, even as an adult, we need advocates. We need people who are going to stand up for us and for what's right because it's easy to fall into what is wrong. So
Well, I think a lot of people have lost hope. You know, they think, oh, I can't do anything about it. I'm just one person. I can't do anything about it. And I'd like to show people that I'm one person and I'm going to do something about it.
how do you
And let me
plan
be
to
your
do
voice.
that?
Well, I think I need to get people involved. You know, like I am only one person if I were to win the position on the school board. But people need to see, like, hey, this is what they're talking about. I think you need to come up to the school board meetings and, you know, say, do you agree or do you not disagree with what's going on and what's happening? People need to know what they're doing, you know, in order to get involved to say yes or no. People really need to show up and show out and show the support of what they're not in support of and what they are in support of. And I think if you had an advocate or a voice for them to let them know, hey, this is what's going on, maybe people would be more apt to getting involved.
Absolutely. Now there's this video that's circulating around, and it's very popular on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, even. And it is of a transgender man. He's dressed up in a pink suit and his hair done up, everything, and he's talking to children, and he's asking in one of the scenes, he's asking a young boy, "Do you know what I am?" And the young boy replies to him, "Well, I don't know. You're a man." And he says, "I was a boy. I was a young boy." He says, "I was a young boy." How do you feel about that?
Oh, you probably can see my nostrils flaring.
I can. I can feel the energy, the high tension, just like, oh.
Maybe people should start asking, why do you have these people around children? What is the importance of having these people around children? I don't think there's anything wrong. You know, you want to do your thing, you do your thing. But do they need to be around children? Absolutely not. And that's where it comes to grooming. And they don't like to use the word grooming, but that's what you're doing to children. You're making that okay. You're making that part of their lifestyle. And I have no room for that in my life. I have no room for that in the school system, and I just won't stand for it.
Absolutely. I think we have to take a look at the different aspects that go along with that. And we think of heterosexual people, and we don't always go around announcing, hi, when we walk into a room, I'm heterosexual,
Right.
and my name is, and I prefer, and even when it comes to certain things as a preference, I don't just walk into a room and scream, oh, I like, this type of man. You find out when you find out. So I think that sometimes when people are looking for that, maybe they're looking for something else, maybe love or acceptance. And if that child is going through that sort of thing, then isn't it right for us to teach them how to love, how to be loved, and give them the fundamentals? And guys, we will discuss this in 1 minute with Heidi Hulsey right after these messages.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I want to give each and every one of you one last chance to get my original My Slippers. Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen now. Use your promo code and you'll get your very own My Slippers for only $49.98. That's $90 off and the biggest savings ever. What makes My Slippers different is my exclusive 4-layer design that you won't find in any other slippers. My Slippers' patented layers make them ultra comfortable, extremely durable, and they help reduce stress on your feet. Not only that, they come with an indoor-outdoor sole so you can wear them anytime, anywhere. I guarantee they'll be the most comfortable slippers you'll ever own. And now you can get them for the best savings ever, only $49.98. Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen now to get your very own My Slippers for only $49.98. That's $90 off. We have extremely low quantities, and once they're gone. So order now.
Heidi Hulsey for District 4 Board of Education, because our children deserve safer schools, higher test scores, and better leadership. Heidi plans to improve the quality of education. And as a proud mom of 3, I'm voting for Heidi Hulsey because it's the only thing that makes sense.
Same problem, why it's taking longer to fix in our neighborhood.
Paid for by Heidi Hulsey for District 4 Board of Education.
This is where Dave and I plan this year's company holidays.
Let's go through the list.
Easter,
Too religious.
St. Patrick's Day?
Too white.
Mother's Day.
Way too cisgendered.
All of your usual holidays have been canceled this year.
But we still have Karl Marx's birthday! Ha
Need a real reason to party? Find a new job at redballoon.work.
I'm Bundy Cobb, Republican, running for District 3 Commissioner in Douglas County, Georgia. We're at one of the libraries in Douglas County. The commissioners are trying to build a $12 million library on the south side. We don't even have books for the shelves on this one. The furniture is outdated since the 80s. We need to repair what we've got for lesser money, and it won't better serve the people than trying to build a new one on the south side of town. This makes sense to fix what we've got. Got water leaks in the ceiling that needs to be fixed. I'm Bundy Cobb, and I approve this message.
We're back! And before we went to break, guys, I was just speaking with Heidi Hulsey, and we were discussing these young men going into these elementary schools and speaking with our youth about sexual preferences and orientation.
Yes. And I don't agree with it. Not at all. Transgender drag queens or whatever need to be nowhere near our schools. There's a time and place for that. There's always been a time and place for that. And around children is just an absolute no. I won't stand for it. And, so many has said, I don't understand why women are putting up with this when, like I said, we fought for women's rights for a long, long time. And why are we now allowing men dressed up as women to do, and be, fight for us and be around our children when you're clearly a man dressed up as a woman? I just don't feel like there's any room for it near children whatsoever, and it's just a no.
Yeah, and I don't think that you're saying those people don't have a right, and I know we gotta always, because verbiage can be taken out of context. I don't think that she's saying that they don't have a right to live, they don't have a right to be. She's saying that around young and impressionable minds, it shouldn't be. And as a mother, I can agree with that completely. Now, Heidi did make a statement, and she said something to the effect of there are women. The women's suffrage movement and other movements that came from that stood up for rights to be able to vote, stood up for rights to be able to have their own professional teams, have their own, clauses within sectors of different businesses, only to give it all up for these transgenders who want to come and they want to be a part of the women's swim meet or soccer team. And that is very... it treads the line between what's good and what's bad, what's right and what's wrong. Now, we fought for this. These women have fought for this. And nobody's coming out the woodworks right now.
Well, my thing is, where do you draw the line? Where's the line in the sand? There's got to be a line in the sand, and there's got to be moral compasses. Yeah. It just really is as simple as that. Where is everyone's moral compass? Yeah. And, it doesn't mean that, that it's wrong, but where do you draw the line to what you do with it? I mean, I hate to bring this up, and people look at me like I got three heads when I do this, but, there's people out there right now dressing up as animals, the furries, where do you draw that line? There is no line to the other side, and I think that's what people need to understand. Everything has a time and place, and people really need to figure out where their line is.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when we get into some of the things and the major topics that are being discussed amongst these school boards, these families, parents, teachers, and everything like that, some people say that only a teacher should sit on the board of education. I disagree, but and obviously you disagree with that also. And now, what is your perspective from that? What do you have to say to people who say, well, only a teacher should sit on the board because they teach?
Oh, I have a lot to say about that, actually.
Well, come on with it.
I probably would have thought that at one time, too. You need, major educators, people that are in the education system. I would have also thought that at one time. I never would have thought, what do you mean a hairstylist is going to run for the school board? That seems silly or stupid. Well, we've come to that point because there is no line in the sand. There is no, mama bears are awake. Mama bears are ready to fight for their children because of what educators have done to our society. It's really such a shame that, I've really got to be doing this, because I love my profession. I love doing what I do. And you would think educators should be doing what they do. And it's just not like that right now anymore. And I do feel like I have the experience. Like I said, I've sat there for 28 years and I've talked to all walks of life, all parents, all teachers, all students, and I've seen firsthand the complaints and what is wrong with our system, and no educators have been able to fix it. If anything, it's gotten worse, and it's really time for mama bears and just real Americans to step up and say, we're not taking it anymore.
Yeah. And I agree with that statement, guys, because when I remember being younger and I used to love to sing, but I couldn't, and I needed some instruction. And the person that was able to help me most and call out those notes I was messing up was someone who did not sing, could not hold a note, but they were able to tell me how I could get better. One or two things: people get burnt out. People in those positions, they've held those positions for years. If no one's ran against them, they've just been there, and they get burnt out. And so sometimes it is good for new to come in and new with a fresh mindset and maybe not having a background in the same background that you're running for, because you come in fresh. Right. And you come in with your own ideals, and you come in as a person who's experienced it as a mother of two, who's grown up in this county. So I think if no one else perfect for the position would be to run, it would be you.
Well, and I can learn. And it's not about me. It's about the community and what the community wants. It's not about me. Teachers I need to find out from teachers what we can do to help. Find out from parents what we can do to help students. I've never seen school boards go around and ask people, what can we do to help? It's all about just being a pencil pusher versus being an activist, and what are you going to do to fix things?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that. There's a thing going on in your county. I was hearing about the parents and the school board wanting to charge, I guess if you drop the child off by 8:30 in the morning, yeah, they're wanting to charge a fee. Do you know how much that fee is that they're wanting to charge?
Well, I've heard it'd be like $100 a month extra.
Okay, and so what is the specs around that? What are they saying? Like to bring your child early, just drop them off, or what's?
Well, I haven't actually heard it. Like I've heard it, but I haven't really heard what is going on. And I'm the type of person that I'm not just going to go, jump in and go, oh well, that ain't right, or we shouldn't do that. I want to learn. Okay, why, what is going on? Are people abusing that privilege and dropping it off, and are they using it as a babysitter? Well, then that is a problem. But you have parents out there that have to work really hard, and they need to drop their children off. So, where is that fine line? I don't know, because I don't know enough about that particular instance and what's going on. But I would like to know, where's that money going?
Absolutely.
Where is that money going? Because I'm hoping that that's going in the in the teacher's pocket, or in the not the teacher's pocket, like, just in their pocket, but, for the children, so why, if we've gotten away with it this long by not having that happen, mm-hmm, and now we're going to do this, why is that happening? Mm-hmm. So I'd love to know all the reasonings for it before I were to make a decision on something like that. And like I said, I'd really be interested to see where that money's going, because the schools, there's a lot of money out there going to things I think it shouldn't be going to.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that was weird for me, or crazy, is the property taxes in your county. They went up 5.33%. So with that being said, you think about the millage rate, and you think about the government and how the state has to have, and the local authorities have to have ordinances or things set up for, educators or the sheriff, emergency relief funds. And a part of that is the Board of Education that those monies fall into. Now, the property taxes go higher. Does that mean that the Board of Educators also get more pay?
Well, I would think absolutely so. And they say they're kind of like not, rolling the back that millage rate. And that's just another thing that I'm not, I wasn't, real educated on as till the last couple years. But they're not rolling it back, but they need to be rolling it back further, because they are getting more money for our property. There's just so many ways to manipulate that and manipulate the system. I know that our superintendent said, well, the state is going to be taking a lot of that money. But I do also believe that is manipulated, so there's just a lot of manipulation when it comes around to the county's millage rate and the school board's millage rate and the tax rate. I think there's a lot of very smart people out there that do understand what's going on. And I think that we all need to be made aware of what is exactly happening to our money in this county.
Absolutely. Now, the school board, do they also deal with the special eds and special needs resources also?
Yes, I believe so. Okay. They should. And I know that they do have some great, I do a lot of teachers that work for the special ed kids, and they are great people. And I've actually heard really good things about our special education programs. Now, is that, great all across the board? I don't know. I've only talked to a few people. But I do believe that, from what I understand, that they do have a pretty good special education program. Awesome. Now, what I do hear is, though, with the numbers, this is one of them things where the numbers get fudged into the testing scores in order to get the federal funding. There's a lot of manipulation there by the whole roundabout testing and what school gets this, and like, you know, and I've heard about, well, this school doesn't have a special education program, so that's not factored in, or they factor in a special education program in order to get those numbers up. There's always just that. There's just always that fudging of the numbers, and it's just never all about our children, and that just really needs to stop.
Absolutely. Now, with the schools and it was critical race theory, but they're not calling it critical race theory any longer. But with the schools and trying to push this hierarchy of black and white and racism and things like that, do you fear that our school system may go back into a segregated class? There may be a segregation between the two?
I would hope not, you know, and that's really sad because, you know, my kids have grown up in this county, and kids don't see color. They don't see color until parents make it a color thing. And it's really just sad to watch. And I feel like we've definitely gone downhill in the whole racism. I feel like 20 years ago, I didn't think racism existed. Like when I first moved here, you know, I didn't come from a county that had really hardly any black people at all. And when I got here, I didn't think anything different. You know, racism was never pushed down my throat. It just didn't exist in my world. And to me, it only exists because they just keep pushing it down these kids' throats when really kids, I don't think, see color.
Yeah.
It's the parents and the educators that just keep it alive.
Oh, I definitely believe that also. And another thing is that, you know, we have young minds, like I said before, they're young and impressionable. They want to learn, they want to soak everything up. And we have to be careful as educators, parents, and even you when you get on the board, you know, and this is what I love about you is you always dictate your words. You're a great example for the youth. You're a great example for parents. You know, you're a business owner. You've been in business over 20 years for yourself. So obviously, you
30.
know, over 30 years. God. So that's over my life. And so you know how to get things done. And that's what this is about. Not just someone who knows how to get it done, but someone who will get it done. And guys, we have Heidi Hulsey here today, and we're thankful for you. Just so thankful for you coming on our show.
Thank you.
And like I said,
let me be your voice.
Yes. I want us to all get behind Heidi in droves and go to those polls, flood the polls like Marjorie Taylor Greene likes to say, and just show some support where support needs to be. And without that, guys, we're going to a quick break.
No. Absolutely not. Take off the hat.
This? But
We cannot be seen to be supporting a corrupt institution like the police force.
But
No buts.
But we are the police.
Nice hat, Kelly.
Thanks, Gwen.
Still.
Workplace a bit confining? Plan your jailbreak at redballoon.work.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow, towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. This is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work.
The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work.
I'm interrupting this commercial to bring you my BOGO extravaganza. For example, you get one of my Giza Dream bed sheets and you get a second set absolutely free. Or my 6-piece towel sets. Buy one set, get another one absolutely free. Or get my classic premium MyPillow and get another one absolutely free. So call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com and use your promo code to get my buy one, get one free offers and get deep discounts on all MyPillow products.
I'm Bundy Cobb, Republican, running for District 3 Commissioner in Douglas County, Georgia. We're at one of the libraries in Douglas County. The commissioners are trying to build a $12 million library on the south side. We don't even have books for the shelves in this one. The furniture is outdated since the 80s. We need to repair what we've got for lesser money. and they better serve the people than trying to build a new one on the south side of town. This makes sense to fix what we've got. Got water leaks in the ceiling that needs to be fixed. I'm Bundy Cobb, and I approve this message.
Heidi Hulsey for District 4 Board of Education, because our children deserve safer schools, higher test scores, and better leadership. Heidi plans to improve the quality of education. And as a proud mom of 3, I'm voting for Heidi Hulsey because it's the only thing that makes sense.
Same problem, why it's taking longer to fix in our neighborhood?
Paid for by Heidi Hulsey for District 4 Board of Education.
Guys, this is the end of the show. I love you all, but hate to see you go, but we've got to get out of here. Today we've had Heidi Hulsey with us, and she is running for School Board of Education in District 4 out in Douglas County, Georgia, and she's needing donations, she's needing volunteers, all the support we can get behind the campaign, guys. And with that, we're going to let Heidi go ahead and take us out of here with the final words.
Thank you all for your time. I would really appreciate if everybody could just rise up and fight back. Like, that's what we need. We need warriors. We need the mama bears. We need the papa bears. Let me be your voice, because I will stand by my convictions. I am one of those that you cannot sway me, with an opinion. I cannot be bought. And I will be your voice, and I will fight for you, and I will fight for your children. Our children are counting on us to fight. And with that being said, I pray that I can, get God to send his warriors for help and with donations and really, get people to register to vote, get people to care, get people to get involved and just fight for our country and fight for our freedom. And I would truly appreciate if you even help me fight so I can fight for you.
And with that, guys, it's been real, it's been live. I am your host, Sandy Blooms, and you are watching the new Republican Party.